Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All bets on me, Queens. I hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Winning Women's Wednesday. This week, I have an awesome, just all around phenomenal woman that I want to spotlight this week. Um, I will do the introduction, and then I will bring my special guest on with me. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, my name is LaShonda Walford. I am the founder of this amazing All Bets on Me community. Um, I thank you, ladies, so much for tuning in week after week, just showing up and showing your support in our efforts to continue to motivate, inspire, and encourage um, other women. So I will not prolong this conversation. I'm so excited to have my guest, Rashia B. Cox, with me today. I am going to bring her on screen with me now.
Hey, Lashonda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing awesome and amazing. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. Look, I got past the technical issue.
Yes. It is always something when you are trying to do something that's going to help edify somebody else. So listen, we expect the challenges, right?
Right. That we do.
hmm
That we do. So listen, I've already did the introduction.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, please tell our All Bets on Me community who Rashia B. Cox is. I know who you are, but let's let them know who you are.
Oh, awesome. Well, definitely, first of all, I want to give it back to you and just thank you for this opportunity just to be able to come in your platform. All bets on me. I'm telling you, this community truly has blessed me because it encourages me to continue to bet on myself. So I thank
Um,
you so much for inviting me and just sharing your time and your energy and your space with all of us. It's just a beautiful sight, and I'm just grateful to be here. So, a little bit about me. You've already told them my name is Rashia B. Cox. I am the child of Dwight Barbie and the late Ella Barbie. My mother passed away 3 years ago. I am just a person that loves to motivate people, loves to encourage people. I am the CEO and founder of the Arise Den LLC, which is a great space for me to just simply help people arise. I help people arise financially. I help people arise mentally. I help people arise spiritually and physically. So I'm just grateful. I'm just a person. I just push people. I refer to myself as the pusher. I love to push women. I love to push men. I love to push people into their greatness. I love to encourage and strengthen. I'm an author. We both released books around the same time last year, so it's amazing. And so I'm excited about Kill the Image and the Uncovering. It is on Amazon. And I'm just an all around person. I'm a pastor. I love to encourage people spiritually and just help reach souls, reach one soul at a time. And so I'm excited about what all that the Lord has for me to do on this earth and my assignment on the earth. And that's just pretty much who I am.
well, listen, that is a lot. Um, and I don't like, I like for people to hear for themselves, because
hmm
when you have a personal relationship with someone,
hmm
people can tend to think that I'm being a little biased. But it's all written. It all can be proven. Just what you do for your community, how you push everything that you do to help others arise. It's written, it's out there, so I can't make it all up. This is just awesome and amazing, good stuff that you do every day. And I just want
Thank
to
you.
let the world know, because we're streaming on quite a few platforms right now. Let them
Good.
know who you are and what you do. People need someone like you in their lives.
Oh,
Um, and so it's definitely making a difference what you're doing. So I know that, and that everyone has a story, right?
hmm
And it's not the story, it's what we choose to do once the story has unfolded, I should say.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you
Mhm.
don't mind, and I know that it's a lot, and we may not be able to get to everything in an hour, but if
Mhm.
you don't mind just sharing a little bit of your story, any part of it that you want to share, because people tend to see us where we are now, and they don't
Mhm.
know about 10 years ago.
Right, right. Yes. So definitely. So my story simply just it just starts with, just a normal girl, looking for love in all the wrong places at a young age, and just exploring and doing things and looking for that love in those wrong places and doing the things that you really shouldn't be doing. But I'm really blessed because the things that I experienced in my lifetime, in my teenage years, on up to my adult years, on up to my 42 years of age right now, has led me to this point. I thank him for every storm, every obstacle that I went through. I grew up in a single parent home. And so my mother wasn't there a lot because she was working to support my brother and myself. And so I found myself looking for love from guys, my age. I would sleep with them, and just, do me, just trying to look for love. And then I found myself, as I began to get older, I was wanting to settle down. You want that security of a man as a woman. You want that security. You want to settle down. And then I just found myself at a place where, I end up being pregnant. I wasn't married. And then that relationship failed. But then I promised that child that I had that, I wasn't going to make him pay for any of my mistakes. I wasn't going to make him pay for any of my insecurities. And so I just turned that around, and I just, I began to go. I got my North Carolina, I got my cosmetology license through the North Carolina State. And I got certified as a North Carolina licensed cosmetologist. I was working at Blue Cross Blue Shield. I was working at the salon, and pursuing my associate's degree at the same time, just because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to stop and look at this as a failure, but I'm going to keep pushing through. Because I've got to show this child what legacy looks like. I got to show this child what pushing through looks like. And again, I think that's why I started Arise Then, because I've been at the place where I've been stuck mentally, I've been stuck financially, I've been stuck physically, I've been stuck from a spiritual standpoint. And I just started to push through all those adversities. A lot of times when you're a single mom, you don't have a spouse, you don't have the support, you don't have the help. We're looked at as a status quo. But I was the one that was like, I'm gonna turn this around for something good. I'm not gonna be out here in the hand me out line. I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna do what I need to do. And so I'm proud of that. I'm grateful for that. And I share it all the time with other single mothers to let them know that, just because, you fail in a space where you feel like you failed yourself, you really didn't fail yourself, because your child is a blessing. And a lot of times we don't hear that part of it. We hear, oh, you should have been married when you had your first child, or you should have been married when you had your child. We don't hear that. We don't hear that your child is a blessing, and God allowed your child to come here for a reason. And you need to arise and be the mother that you need to, the best mother that you can be, not the mother that people want you to be, but the best mother that you can be. And so I use that as my motivation. And I call my oldest son, Jeremiah, my motivation. He's 16 years old now, but he's still my motivation. He rocks my nerves. He tear my nerves up, but he's still my motivation. He's still why I push and do the things I do. And I have 3 other children, and they're all my motivation, and I keep pushing for them. So yeah, that's a little bit about how my story started and how my journey started. Again, relationships will fail you, but you have to get to a place. I had to get to the place to be secure in who I am. Know that I'm beautiful, whether I got a man on my side or not. I'm now married, happily married, been married for 12 years now, but it took process to get there. It took me some time to get there. But you got to know who you are, with or without anybody. And I believe that's what all bets on me is about. Is like, we love the affirmations of people. We want people to tell us that we're good. We want people to tell us that our idea, our business is great and you're doing your thing. But what about when they don't clap for you? What about when they don't affirm you? What about when they don't tell you that you're doing a good job? You got to have enough within inside of you and know that whatever your vision is, whatever your dream is, whatever your business is, whatever your goal is, you got to bet on you, because it all ends and stops with you.
Listen, you got me ready to just throw something at you, because that's good. That is good, and I'm glad you brought that up. You answered two of my other questions already, just
Mhm.
in what you gave us. But what I want you to touch on a little bit is when you said you had to deal with your own insecurities yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like you did the work within yourself,
Hmm.
and not that way you're ready. You were ready for your husband when he came, and you was not expecting him to fix you. You know,
Right, right. And that's the thing. Like, some I hear a lot of people talking about, I can't wait to get married so I can be complete. Well, that's wrong,
right?
because we need to really be complete when we meet our spouse, or when we meet that significant other, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times we're looking for people to fix us, when the fixer, it lies within us, and we need to tap in there. Whatever you believe, whatever your religion is, you need to tap within that, and tap within that source, and say, listen, I need you to fix me, and I want to be fixed. And here's what I want to do. Here's this baby steps that I'm taking to fix myself. If I know that I'm a person that, if I'm insecure when other women come around, then I need to fix that within me, because some other women may be a blessing to my next place. And if I'm so insecure, if I'm so caught up in, oh, they don't like me, or they talking about me, if they in a little huddle and they talking, we got that insecurity that, oh, they talking about me, then we will miss our blessings of opportunity. We will miss our blessings of connection, because we're insecure within ourselves. It's something I realized that as a child, I dealt with a lot of things. I saw a lot of things. I experienced a lot of things with my childhood, with my parents. And if I did not get to the place to say that these things will not follow me into my adulthood, I wouldn't be at the place that I am now, because a lot of us are still walking around as immature adults, because we're carrying the weight of the things and the experiences that we had in childhood. And the Lord is saying to all of us, listen, I want you to get rid of that. I want you to bind up that spirit of rejection, and I want you to know that I accept you. I accept you for who you are. And so when I came to that conclusion, like, nothing could stop me. Nothing could stop me. I don't care if no one liked my post. I don't care if no one attended my event. Listen, I'm gonna go all for it. I'm all in. I'm all in, because I fought to get to this place. And a lot of us are giving up in the midst of a process, because it's hard. Because it's hard. But the process is not ever going to be easy. Anytime you are called and you are assigned and you have a mandate on this earth to do something great, the process is going to be strenuous. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to battle through all of these things of rejection. You're going to battle through all these things of comparing yourself to others. When in essence, you need to have a tunnel view when it comes to executing your vision on the earth. And be very conscious about who you connect with, and help you push your vision on the earth. But have that tunnel vision to say, listen, it's on me and you. It's on me and you. All bets on me.
Mm, right, right. That right there in itself, and we just getting started. We just getting started, and you have already dropped so many jewels and gems, and I'm praying that our viewers, the ones that's watching now, I'm praying that they caught them, and that they can take them and actually implement these into their life,
Mm-hmm.
and even the ones that's going to catch the replay, because what you just described will help so many people. I've been
Mm-hmm.
in places where I've been stuck, and those are the
Mm-hmm.
same things that I had to do myself. And you're
Yeah.
right. When you've been assigned something to do on earth, it's not going to be easy. It's
Mm-mm.
going to be very hard. It's going to be
Mm-mm.
very hard, but you've got to push through.
Yes.
And you cannot wait. You said it. You cannot wait for others to cheer you on or
Mm-mm.
say, hey, that's a great idea. What can I
Mm-hmm.
do to help you? You're probably going to get the total opposite of that.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you and I know, as entrepreneurs, you know that's how it works.
Yep.
But tunnel vision, like you said, is what you have to have. And you
Yeah.
got to just know that you gotta finish. And
Mm-hmm.
whatever the assignment is, you have to get to it, and get it done,
Yeah.
no matter what. Block
Yeah.
out all outside noise. Don't worry about who's with you, who's not, because the ones that you are assigned to, they're going to grab a hold of what you're
That's
doing
right.
anyway. And you
That's
don't have to
right.
convince them to do that. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to get it because it's for them. So I listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. You
Mm-hmm.
already answered my question, but I do want to say this. The fact that I love to see people have businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's even it hit me a little bit different when the business has personal meaning.
Yes.
When it has personal meaning. So a rise then is not something that you just rolled over out of bed one day and decided, oh, I'm gonna just do this. No, those are from
No.
personal experiences. And so what
Yes.
you're pouring into those people that you're helping to arise,
Mm-hmm.
that's from that place of love, that's from that place of purpose, and
Yeah.
you're going to give them exactly what you could have benefited from when you were going through.
Exactly, exactly. If I would have had a platform or a space such as a Rise Den when I was stuck, I probably would be way further longer than I am now. And that's really what brought me to a Rise Den. When I first started thinking about even having a Rise Den in my belly, it was really, I wanted to have a space where men and women could come that had either been battered, they had been abused, they had been in jail, they were having a hard time. I just had such a big vision to help them because, as society, they're not easily accepted once they're back in. And so
Mhm.
I started out, I was looking for like housing, I was looking for places to put the people, and it just didn't kick off. And then I myself was like stuck financially because I wasn't really budgeting well. I wasn't really using my expenses to my ability. I wasn't just doing the things to get ahead financially. And so I don't care what people say. People say, I don't need money. Listen, money is the next thing to air. We need it.
You
And
need
we
it,
need
right?
we need air to breathe. We need money to survive. And I mean, it ain't for deep. This ain't for deep people. Like at the end of the day, we need money to survive. And so, I know that I was even stuck at a place like financially, like even in that. And so I was like, okay, I'm not getting the housing that I need. I'm not getting it, but I still know that there's something for me to do in the Rise Den. So what I started doing was I started, I bought a franchise. I bought a credit restoration franchise. I started pushing that and I still push it. I started helping people getting their credit fixed. And so through that, I started getting opportunities to motivate people and encourage people to budget, to save, to get a will, to get their estate planning, to get their credit restored, get all these things. And in that space, I just started because I was already ministering. So I was like, okay, Lord, so you just want me. I like to call a Rise Den a suite of services. It's an integrated suite of services. You can come there and get your credit restored, and you can also come there and get your soul healed. I mean, it's just what it is. But I was at a place in my life that I was so stuck that I didn't have those resources to go to. And so I kind of had to like figure it out. I had to like reach out to people and figure out like what did I need to do? Watch people. Some of your greatest mentorships are from the people that you watch. They may not never speak a word to you, but it's from the people that you can see the fruit of their labor. I'm not talking about folk that doing stuff and there's no production, there's no fruit, there's no substance. I'm talking about people that you can visually see that there is substance to what they are doing and people's lives are being changed. And so I just started watching people. I just started doing things. This platform that we're using now with StreamYard, it is one of the most powerfulest tools because just as you said, you can stream in multiple platforms. You can hit multiple people just by doing what we're doing right now. And so I've used all of those tools and all of that drive of where I was. And even, can I just be real? Even where
Yeah.
I sometimes go back to, I am stuck myself.
Right.
Even though the CEO of a Rise Den, I still have those moments where I'm stuck, where I feel like I can't I'm sinking. I'm in sinking sand. I get the burnout and I have to dive. That's why my presence right now on social media is kind of low right now because I'm taking that time to reset myself. Because when people are constantly they in your inbox like, give me something. I need something. I need some kind of encouragement word. And you got it because you got so much in you. You got to get to a place too, though, that you have to stop and say, wait a minute, I need to pour back into me too. I need to reset myself as well. And so I use my own tools. I use my own words, arise in something. Every morning I tell myself to arise and do something. Don't just arise, don't arise, right? Because he gives us the breath in our body. He gives us the, the unction to get up. But a lot of
Right.
us, we just get up and we sit. Arise and do something. Arise and be happy. Arise and have joy. Arise and go get your bank card. Do something that's gonna help push you to the next level. You know what I mean? So purpose and pain, all that drives the reason why I can't stay stuck. Even when I get
Right.
stuck, I can't stay there.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
yeah.
Um, totally agree with that. Um, we are alike in so many ways, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't people don't really realize that because they don't realize the history.
Yeah.
Um, but we definitely are, because that pain and your
Mm-hmm.
purpose will keep you. It'll that's your fuel. That is
Yeah.
your fuel. You don't need anything else, other than God to give you the breath that He's going. He gives us every day.
Yeah.
You don't need to be like pushed and pumped all the time to do what you know that you're called to do.
Right.
That fuel is always there. But what
Yeah.
you touched on it a few minutes ago when you said, even for us, like you being a CEO, I'm a CEO, so we have to. This is my transparent moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do better with pulling away so I can
Yeah.
replenish myself, so
Yeah.
I can refill myself because I'm constantly going, and pour out every day, all day,
Yeah.
and making sure everything and everybody has what
Yeah.
they have. So that I'm glad you brought that up. And I just,
Oh
like I
yeah.
said, that's my transparent moment because I
Mm-hmm.
am guilty of that. I have to do better
Mm-hmm.
at that myself.
Yeah.
It's important because it gets
Mm-hmm.
hard, to and your body, it tells you.
Yes.
My body lets me know when, okay, you need to pull back, like
Yeah.
bring it back, take a minute, but I'm
Yep.
still just going.
Because one thing about it, you have so much to do. All of us, not just saying you, but all of us, we have so much to do. We have so much impact to make, but none of that will hold value if we are doing it from a empty place. And that's what I had to learn over these years is that yes, you're relied on a lot, you're pulled on a lot, but if you're doing it from an empty place, it's not going to have as much value and impact. And so I had to really like recognize that. I had to really stop and do self-care. I do self-care Saturdays where I just do something for me. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, with your eyes closed, they gonna, they cry over you a little bit, but then they gonna keep rocking it out. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right,
you've got to get to a place. I've got to get to a place that we say, okay, wait a minute, I matter here too, right? I matter, and I need to take care of myself. Therapy, I go to therapy. Cause ain't no way that I can help others arise without all that stuff coming on me along with my other stuff, my own personal stuff. So I go
right.
to therapy to have that safe space, and that's okay. A lot of people like,
Hmm.
I ain't got time to go to therapy. It's expensive, blah, blah, blah. So many excuses why they can't. But when in actuality, it's such a blessing on the earth. So
Right,
those are things that I do to make sure that I rise in self-care.
right. Now I'm gonna do that. Go touch on something that you just mentioned while you were speaking. Now
Mm-hmm.
I do my self care on Fridays. The
Mm-hmm.
office is closed on Fridays, and I do a little self care, but I still need to do. I need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some times through the week until I get to Friday that I'll be like, whew, okay. And I'm like pushing to get to my self care Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm aware of it and I'm working on it. Um,
Yes.
Now let's go back to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You are absolutely right. There is such a negative stigma when it comes to therapy.
Yeah.
Um, and there are a lot of excuses when it comes to therapy. But
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always curious as to, in someone's mind, like, you can't afford to go there, but you can go to Red Lobster. You
Right.
can go to Roof Chris. You can go to nail shop. You can buy
Right.
100, 200 something dollar Jordans. There's your
Yep.
therapy. Like there
Yep.
is your therapy. So it's like you need to prioritize and just sacrifice
Yeah. Yep.
to get what you need. But what I'm seeing is that nowadays it's not as negative, but it's still the excuses. It's the
Yeah.
excuses now. And I think that's just, and you tell me how you feel. I think that's from people really not wanting to do the work or not really
Yeah.
wanting to revisit those places, where it's ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
I don't put that over there. I don't got ace bandages wrapped around that and I got tape
Right.
on it and I want to leave it that way.
Right, right, right. Because therapy definitely it pulls out those things that have hurt you and that have imprisoned you. Because
Right.
as you said, we think we've healed, we think we've dealt with it, we think we've conquered it, but really in actuality we haven't, because it still haunts us on a daily basis. It's still like is that thing that's like hanging over us. And so I know with my own experiences with therapy is that some days I come out of therapy and I'm high, I'm restored, and then some days I come out of therapy I'm drained because I really like let it all out.
Right.
And that is really what helps you as an entrepreneur. It helps you as a woman. It helps you as a man to be a better entrepreneur, to be a better man, to be a better woman, to be able to release those things out. Because a lot of us cannot really execute on the earth because of what's still inside of us,
Right.
that's not really producing fruit. Because you're not telling me anything. If you've been through any bad trauma in your life, any bad things in your life, and you've never talked to anybody about it except for like your close family and friends, and they're really looking at it from a lens of judgment or a lens of one-sidedness, so that's not really a good space to. And I'm not saying you can't talk to your family and friends, but seeking professional help has really helped me be a better person and be a better person overall. So I can be the entrepreneur, I can be the employee, the wife, the mother, the pastor, all of those things, because I have professional help to help me through those things. And it's not a bad thing. People look at therapy as being a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You have to prioritize you.
Right.
You have to prioritize. Do I want to stay in prison with this or not? Do I want to stay stuck in this or not? And yes, I can read all the books I want to do, but if I don't apply what I'm reading, what's the point?
Right.
So it's ways to do it. And now you can do it through telehealth. You don't even have to leave your house. It's so comfortable that you can do it in a safe space. But again, I talk about therapy every day to somebody, because I want the world to know that you can go to therapy and be
Right.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it definitely overall makes you a much better person.
Yeah.
Um, and becoming a better person, it helps to understand those things from your past that a
Hmm.
lot of people have so many question marks, but
Yeah.
it'll answer those questions and it'll allow you to put things in perspective so that you can
Hmm.
understand. Because if you can't understand why you're this way or where these feelings come from,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to like move past them because you don't know what the cause of it is.
That's
Um,
right.
and then like where's the correction if you don't know
Hmm.
where it came from, what caused it, like the root
Hmm.
of the problem.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, getting to the root of things and getting to the root of the matter of issues in your life is just it's stellar. And it's one of those things. I'm a pastor, so from a church perspective, they want you to go to church, turn around 3 times in the floor, high five your neighbor, jump up and down, and then whoop, you're delivered. No, mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Right.
That's not going to work. And I'm not shunning anything that we do in the church from an emotional standpoint to help us. But after we do all that, we got to go somewhere and talk it out and talk it through and be able to truly bind up those things that truly easily beset us. And the only way to do that is to release it out. Release it out. It's almost like you got to regurgitate all of that stuff out so that the good things can pour back into you. You ever, you think about it. Okay, I want something good to pour into me. I want to help. I want to arise in this area, but I still got so much junk in here that's taking up space, if you will.
Right.
It's taking up space. And so therefore, I want something good. I want new things to happen to me, but I still got all this old residue. Oh God, this
Right.
old residue inside of me that I can't get rid of. Like I'm going to church. I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing right by people, but there's another layer to it. There's another piece of the process that we have to go through. And again, entrepreneurship, being who you are in the earth, it can get hard, it can get challenging, it can get frustrated. But if you have those good professional resources aligned to you, you can navigate through it. I mean, Arise Then has been going now since 2017. But in these past couple of years, especially the pandemic really pushed me to push Arise Then, because you didn't have nothing else to do. You couldn't go
Right.
nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why books were birthed in the pandemic. That's why visions
Mhm.
and businesses were birthed in the pandemic, because I really feel like that the Lord allowed the pandemic to really show us our true purpose and what we had inside of us. But it was up to us to grab it.
Right. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I looked at it when everything shut down, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna take away everything that y'all have been putting before me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm gonna silence it all,
Yep.
sit you down, so that now we can connect.
Yep.
Um, and that's the way I looked at it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that was his way of trying to get our attention.
Oh yeah.
And some believe it, some don't. This is just my belief. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that was his way of trying to get our attention. And for me, I had to use that time to look at, like, even down to starting our day. What the first
Yeah.
thing most people do is grab their cell phones when they wake
Right.
up.
Right.
That's a distraction.
Yep.
That is the first thing people do. And when you wake up, you're on it, and then you be on that phone, then you mess around and get on one of those social media outlets. You done been
Yep.
strong for hours and you ain't done nothing.
Yep.
Nothing at all. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I changed a lot of things up.
Yeah.
um I'm not even looking at the phone when I first wake up. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
emails is there, whatever text messages is there, it's gonna get handled after.
Right.
I give him the time that I'm supposed to give him,
That's
um,
right.
instead of waiting, till nighttime.
Yep.
Because the way I was looking at it is, I might not make it back at
Right.
6 o'clock.
That's
6
right.
o'clock p.m., the time that I had scheduled, to pray and get in my word, and I might not make it back at
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So let me redo this. Let me go
Yep.
back to what I was doing before CEO, before
Yep.
author, before all this other stuff, because that is what I was doing before, and I
Yeah.
just use that as a time for him to just grab my attention,
Mm-hmm.
sit us down, and have us realign and prioritize. You
Yep.
know what's important, and
Mm-hmm.
also, like you said, I learned a lot of stuff about me during the pandemic that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Found a whole lot of uh, gifts and talents. I thought I was using them all, but
Right. 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 Yes. Yes.
but I was proven very wrong during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
Listen. I think we all like found, if you really, like you said, if you really embrace the pandemic for what it was, I think we all found out things that we didn't know that we could do. We found out resources that were available to us. And again, it was just, I felt like the pandemic was an open heaven, even though it was a bad time. And we're still in the pandemic. We're just not in it as deep as it was. But I feel like the pandemic was an open heaven for all of us to be able to tap into the resources that are already given to us in the earth, right? They weren't hidden. The pandemic just like revealed them to us more so that we
Right.
could embrace them. And then um, a couple of things that you was just talking about with the routine and stuff, like I'm a routine person. Like I love routine. Like, but I've learned in this most recent year too how to be agile too and be able to shift and pivot as I need to. But routines are like really, really important. Like you don't let when you got a goal, when you got something that you're trying to do that is it's going to be impactful, you got to stay in a routine of doing what you need to do to meet that goal. And a lot of times, like you're talking on the phone, we get distracted with all these temporal things that are around us, and then all of a sudden it's that time and we're looking like we haven't even met this goal, we haven't even did anything, and it's because we get so distracted with all these things that's going on around us. And a lot of times that's why we stay stuck, because of the distractions that are around us, the voices that are around us, the conversations that are around us, and say, okay, why is LaShonda doing this? Why is she wasting time doing this? Why is Rashia doing this? When in essence they were not in the room with you when the Lord told you to do what he's telling you to do.
Right. Right.
And so you have to, I always write every time he gives me, like there's stuff I have written down that he's given me to do that I have not executed yet, but I had to write it down so that I know that I got to go back and revisit it.
Right.
So that's another thing I would encourage people to do, that when you feel like, okay, I've got something inside of me great that I want to do, that I feel like the Lord has shown me to do, then I need to write that down. I can't do it right now because I don't have the resources or I don't have the capabilities to do it right now. But I'm going to write this down because in 3 months, I got to come back and revisit this and see if it's the timing. Timing is key too. Timing is key too. Because we can have all these ideas, but if the timing ain't right for you to harvest, if the timing ain't right for you to produce, it won't produce. So timing is key too, and knowing and being sensitive enough to know when it's your time to do something as well. One thing about me, in entrepreneurship, what is entrepreneurship and having businesses and even having a full-time job and even being a pastor, a wife, and a mother, all these things, I've learned balance.
Mm.
You can't give 100% to being an entrepreneur and then the other things over here suffering. You got to find that balance, and it's okay. The power of the NO has been real. That's my thing. Arise and say no. Arise and say no. Because we feel, especially us as women, we feel like because we're natural givers, we feel like we have to do and say yes to every ask, every request. And that's how we get burned out. I've learned it's no, I can't do it. I always say a lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. So,
Right.
So therefore, if it's going to create my world to be messed up and disarray, then the answer is going to be saying no. It's going to be no. It's going to be no.
That I'm familiar with. I didn't struggle with that one too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I caught on to that one really quickly, and it's important.
Yes.
Because you're right. We will try to do everything for everybody else, and it will throw off everything else because we schedule and we plan around what we know we have to do, right?
Right.
And so when you get this one thing and it's already planned out to a T, it just can't happen. Because if I do this for you last minute, like you said, because you failed to plan, and I make this my emergency, now the 10 things over here, I'm throwing that all off that I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah, I learned that one a little while ago, and I quickly arise to say no, I can't do that.
Yes.
And I used to feel bad about it, but I mean, I don't feel bad if I cannot do it. I just cannot do it.
Right.
And I don't
right.
feel bad about it. We can revisit it maybe some other time,
Right.
but you just can't. I
That's
think
right.
I think that is what a lot of women, that's their hang up. They either cannot say no, or when they say no, they feel bad about having to say no. But they shouldn't feel bad about having to say no, especially you just can't do it. If it's something you just can't do, there's no reason for you to feel bad or keep apologizing to that person a million times. Like,
right.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
I think that's a good one. Arise and say no. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
I got
yes.
that one. I
Yeah.
definitely got that one. Um, what's next for you? What like tell us what's next for you?
Yeah, so I am working on well it's already out. I'm just kind of working on some legal pieces of it now, but I'm working on the Arise Nation because I've learned that through Arise Den so many people across the world have been blessed and just have simply arisen by just some of the things that we push through the Arise Den LLC. And so I'm working on the Arise Nation where I have gear. I actually have some t-shirts available now. You can go to my website, ariseden.com, and go and purchase those t-shirts because, you know, I'm a person too. I'm a visual person. And I feel like if I got on something, I can wake up in the slumps one morning. But if I go to my closet and I got some gear that's telling me to arise and do something, I'm gonna get motivated real quick because I got that visual in front of me and I got that motivator in front of me to say, wait a minute, I woke up feeling kind of slumpy. I woke up feeling not motivated, but listen, I'm getting ready to rise and live. Come on,
Right.
I'm getting ready to arise and survive. I'm getting ready to rise and conquer. Do something, do something every single day. The enemy of our souls wants us to stay stuck, wants us to stay depressed, wants us to stay in the spirits of rejection, wants us to feel like we cannot take you have something bad happen, and then the enemy wants us to make us feel like, oh, this is it. Like this, like until you close your eyes and you take your last breath, that's when it's it. But as long as you got breath in your body, that's another opportunity to arise
Mm-hmm.
and do something.
Right.
And you
Right.
can't take the bad and just stay stuck in the bad. You got to fight through that. And that's what I've learned over my 42 years of life is that when something bad happened to me last month, it was all of a sudden, it was like I wasn't expecting it to happen. It happened. But when it happened, I had so much peace about it. I didn't cry.
Right.
I didn't get upset. I was just like, you know what? I was just like, wow, okay, here's what it is. But I believe the way that I responded to watch this, the way that I responded to that bad thing, the way it happened, I kept in my mind, wait a minute, this ain't the end though. This ain't the last thing I'm gonna be able to do. This ain't the last environment I'm gonna be able to flourish in. Wait a minute, this ain't the end. I gotta keep going. I got to keep moving. And I kept telling myself that every day from that point up until the day I got a new opportunity and something else great happened to me. I kept telling myself that had I stayed stuck in that bad moment, it could have delayed the production of what was next for me.
Right.
And a
Right.
lot of times that's what happens. It ain't that God is asleep because the word tells us that he never sleeps nor he slumbers. So he ain't sleep concerning nothing concerning us. We the
Mm-hmm.
ones fall asleep. We the one get disgruntled because things don't go our way when we want them to go our way. What if we turn the response around? How we respond to it can really shift us quicker than if we respond to it in a negative way. And so I've learned that like it's bad stuff happening, but I ain't focused on that. I'm gonna keep going until I hear that it can't be done no more.
Right.
And you just gotta have that. You gotta have that in you, and you can't expect people to do that for you. That's
Mm-mm.
gotta be in you. If you want something bad enough, if you want something great bad enough, you'll stay there. The thing
Right.
about Krispy Kreme donuts, people, me, all us that like Krispy Kreme donuts, we gonna stay there till that light come on because we want it hot. We want it hot.
Right.
So I'm gonna stay there until I get what I want. I'm gonna
Right.
stay in the trenches of the process until I get the success that I want. And when
Right.
you bet on yourself and when you count on yourself and you believe in yourself, betting on yourself and believing on yourself go hand in hand. You gotta believe in you when nobody else do.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta trust that no, I may not have this degree, but I'm gifted. Because a lot of us are gifted, and our gifts are getting ready to carry us and take us way farther than any educational background can take us. And I'm a learned woman, but I'm telling you what I know. The way I am right now is not nothing that I learned in my master's program. It has all been giftings that has been given to me from the Father to execute on this earth.
Right. Right.
So tap into that. If I could tell anybody anything today, tap into the gifts that lie inside of you and arise and rock them out.
Listen, that's a mouthful right there. That's a mouthful
Yeah.
because That's what it has to take. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back just for a second.
Yeah.
You were talking about when bad things happen, right? The
Mm-hmm.
bad thing that happened last week and changing our response.
Mm-hmm.
What I've come to realize is that we always, our human selves, we think
Yeah.
we know what's best for us. We think
Right.
we know what we want, right? So we go asking God for stuff, and we pray for stuff. And I look at it when the bad thing happened, that's just what I was asking for.
Yeah.
That ain't what he had in store for
Mm-mm.
me. So when the
Mm-mm.
bad thing happens, it's like, oh, okay. And then it's kind of like you're waiting because now I know that he's working this out. So he
Yep.
just needed me to sit down somewhere
Yep.
and let him do what he need to do. And then he'll come right back and boom, like you said, it's much greater
Yep.
than the first thing that we thought was so bad and that
Yeah.
we was so caught up in, you know. And I think the response is definitely the way we
Oh yeah.
respond. Definitely is that's crucial. The way that
Yeah.
we respond is crucial.
Yeah, because our response, it enters into our brains, then it gets into our hearts, and it comes out through our hands. I always say that anything you do, it enters into your brain, it goes to your heart, and then it comes out through your hands, it comes out through your actions on the earth. And so bad things happen. So our initial response, our normal response is just to respond to the bad and be like, cry, mad, be mad, cuss, yell, whatever, whatever. Flip it around. When the bad stuff happens, you just gotta take a moment and say, wait a minute, this is happening, but I also know that my faith says that he can do exceedingly and abundantly above all I could ever ask or think. So this bad thing that's happened, it may not have been what he wanted for me, but that comes with maturity too. And again, that comes back to that prioritizing your time with him, your creator, whoever you believe in. That goes back to that, because once that relationship is tight, all this other stuff will fall in line. And Matthew 6:33 tells us that.
Right.
Once we get that tight, all this other stuff will fall in line. And I've learned the way my relationship got strong with him is through the processes of my life.
Right. Yep.
That's the only way. That's the only
Yep.
way. Because had what happened to me a month ago, and it did happen to me a few years ago, my response then was totally different than it was now.
Right.
And I can look back on it and say, oh Lord, that was you, because that was growth. That was growth, because I didn't respond the way that I did when this happened to me a few years ago. I responded in a whole nother way. And I believe that God looked down on that and he said, okay, now daughter, you are ready for the next step. Now arise and move.
Yep. That's it. You passed the
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he gives
Yep.
us tests.
Mm-hmm.
He gives us tests. He's not
Yep.
going to allow us to walk through the next door or take the next step if we're still hung up over here.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
I
That's right.
definitely believe that, and you're right. That comes with growth and a relationship with God. Um,
Yeah.
and then during the processes that we go through in our life, that's when so, let me tell you, every process that I have ever gone through in my life, and I know you
Mm-hmm.
can attest, I know for a fact it was to get me focused and get me solely depending on him,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it'll
Mm-hmm.
happen in such a way where that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
Um, and then nobody, when he pulls us out,
Yeah.
nobody gets the glory but him.
That's right. That's
And
right.
there's no question. There's no
Mm-hmm.
question who or what or how.
Yep.
You already know. He is the
Yeah.
who, the what, and the how.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in every situation of my life, that and though I'm talking about those ones that had me feeling like I wasn't even gonna make it through. But
Right. Right.
he is the what, the how, and the why. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I'm gonna say about that because
Yeah.
and not that I had not that I had, you know, I always had a relationship, but
Yeah.
you want to continually grow and develop that
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And that's what I was able to do through every process of my life.
Yeah.
And I mean, and like you said, now when those things happen, I can be presented with something today that I
Mm-hmm.
would have that I was presented with a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and the reaction is going to be totally different
that's right.
because of
That's right.
growth.
Yeah.
Because and I recognize, like I said earlier, I recognize when I need to sit down somewhere and let
Mm-hmm.
him do what he need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when that bad thing happened, I'm like, okay, guys, you know what? I probably was doing too much. I probably
Yeah.
was trying to do what you supposed to be doing. Let me sit
Right.
down somewhere and let you do what you do.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, he's got it. He got a master plan. We got a plan, but he got a master plan. And I found out his master plan is really what I want in my life. My plans are great. They're flowery. They're beautiful. But his plans are so much greater. And when we stand still enough, long enough to see his plan be revealed in our life, then we can truly look back and say, listen, yes, yeah, our bets are truly on me because I stopped to let the one that's greater than me actually move me forward and execute his plan on earth. And that's truly pretty much what it's all about. It's just that having that strong security within yourself and knowing who's in living with inside of you and causing you to do everything that you do and totally relying on him and letting him do what he do for you. So yeah. Yep.
I think that is awesome. I think that's awesome. I'm gonna go through. We have 64 comments,
Oh wow.
so I'm gonna try to go through them really quickly. Uh, if it let me. Okay, here we go. All right, so I had to wait to read the comments because I get distracted with the
Uh-huh.
comments on the side. But I
Yeah.
didn't. I got caught up in the conversation. I didn't mean to let 64 get by us.
That's all right.
But we have a lot of people on Twitch. The comments
Nice.
are from Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So a lot of people are saying hello, beautiful queens. That's from
Hi.
Dewana. Um, Masara, where is it? Good afternoon, queens. Um,
Hi.
let's see. Good afternoon. Um, uh, Beauty for You said that part. I'm not really sure which part, but there was a lot of that parts because
Yeah.
you was really dropping some jewels um
Awesome.
on here. Let's see. A lot of people said hello, Facebook user. Yes, yes. Um, wow, come on now. Another one said yes, sir. Another one said, come on here. Come on, girls. Yes, yes. I'm over here about to throw all kind of stuff. Preach and teach. One of the
Lord,
comments.
I be
Yeah.
trying, Lord, when I go on certain platforms, I be trying to decompress the preacher and the teacher and just talk, but sometimes I
No,
just
no,
can't
no,
help
no. Look, don't decompress. That's who you are. It just need to come out.
it. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of the comments are just like saying thank you for coming. They're saying they were just agreeing with everything that you were saying. Um, um, uh, so one of them said, "Lord knows, Lord, I know exactly what she's talking about. Everyone
Oh.
watches, even when they don't say anything." And you're
Mm-hmm.
right. Let's see. Pain equals pain equals purpose. Right. Um,
Yeah.
absolutely. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Take time and love on yourself. That is absolutely right. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't show. Well, it doesn't show the names. So if I
Right.
say Facebook user, guys, I apologize. It just shows that you're on Facebook, but it does not show your name. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
meaning to be disrespectful or anything like that. It just shows Facebook user. Um,
Mm-hmm.
self care, self prioritize. You're right about that. That comes with setting boundaries and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, this is from Chicken Wing Dooney. He's on Twitch.
Okay.
From what I have been studying and doing, like I have generational dysfunction is one of the worst things that's in my community. More than drugs, more than violence.
That's the truth. It's the truth because a lot of generational curses and dysfunction is what's roaming the earth. That's why it's producing so rapidly. And that's why, I'm a firm believer, speak like even my own children, I speak over them that they won't repeat the same things as in my generation or in their father's generation, and we have to cultivate those atmospheres so that they don't get them involved in things that will not um speak to those atmospheres that are generationally assigned to them. And so that is, I mean, that is so, so, so true. And a lot of people don't want to, it is back on that therapy thing. Like a lot of families need to go through therapy because all of the generational things that have happened and are still happening that we are afraid to address with our generation now. And so that is so, so true. And I just try to do my part and just share about generational curses and like how they are real, and if we don't address them they will repeat themselves.
Right, right.
Hmm.
That's really true. Um, Let me see. It's a new comment. Other people's joining, just saying hello. Got a lot of agreed, and just cheering you on, just cheering
Awesome.
you on, and that was great. So, look, I'm on grandma duty now. So
Okay.
before she get started really
Round
good,
up.
right, right, right. Um, what are some final thoughts that you want to leave with the All Bets on Me community?
I would just say just keep, whatever stage you are in or whatever phase you're in your life, just stay true to yourself. Don't try to please the people. Don't try to be who the people want you to be. Be your true authentic self, because it that being that will bless your life as opposed to trying to be who others want you to be, do what others want you to do. Be your true authentic self, because at the end of the day you got to lay down with yourself, you got to wake up with yourself. And so, just know that if you're going through a bad spot in your time or in your life right now, you don't have to stay there. It's a temporary thing. It's a temporary move that's happening in your life. And if you just tap into that greater one that's on the inside of you, if you just tap on in just something good about you, tap into that space and grab hold of that and help that and magnify that, then I promise you, you will arise and you will conquer and you will move through. So definitely, definitely just don't stay stuck. Just keep moving through, just keep pushing through and be and arise and be the best person and man and woman that you can be. And please connect with me on social media as well. And on my I have my website. You can go to www.ariseden.com. You can purchase my book there. You can purchase any of my Rise Nation gear there. Also, I am Rashia B Cox on Facebook, Arise Den LLC on Facebook. On IG, you can connect with me at Arise Den number 17. And then on YouTube, it's Arise Den. So please, please, please connect with me as well. I would love to get connected to other people that believe that all bets are on us.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much
You're
again
welcome.
for accepting the invite to come on
Yes.
the
Thank
All
you for
Bets on.
having me.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. The All Bets on Me platform. We appreciate it. Um, Everything that you said today, like I said earlier, and we had just gotten started. You dropped so many jewels and gems, and I'm just, according to the comments, the ones that were here with us live, they caught them, they got them, they
Amen.
understand them. So yay for that! Thank you so much.
Yay.
That's what this is all about. Um,
Yes.
so that we can continue to help others, pull them from their dark places. We haven't always been in the
Mm.
place that we're in right now, and so we
No,
just
not at all.
continue to be that for other people that we wish we'd have had when we were
Hmm.
going through. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
love you.
I love
This will
you.
not be your last time on,
Oh,
because we didn't cover your book. Definitely, I would definitely want to touch on that,
awesome.
and dig into that. It's so much that we didn't get to cover, but
Yeah,
we did cover. It was great, and you were going to
awesome.
help a lot of people from this. So thank you again,
You're
all bets
welcome.
on
Thank
me
you.
community. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up Wednesday after Wednesday to help me celebrate the phenomenal women that we are spotlighting. Chicken Wing
Mhm.
Dooney, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody on Twitch. Thank you to people on YouTube. And thank you to the All Bets on Me Facebook community. We will see you guys on next Wednesday for another Winning Woman Wednesday spotlight. Enjoy the rest of your day. Rashia, can you hold for me 1 second?
Sure.
I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you, ladies. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.